And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you had a great Monday and you had a great weekend. This is Dr. Dwayne Wood, y'all. Hey. Glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. And we're here. You know, we are in the final days of 2023. We are in the final days of this year. Q4, as they say. And, you know, we've been doing a series entitled Q4 Winning Moves. We've also been doing a series entitled The War for Your Health. And I am going to spend some time tonight just kind of looking back at what we've done this year and looking forward to the success that we are predicting in our health and in our lives going forward. That's right. New year. You've seen it. New year, new you. New year, new me. New year, new world. And y'all, new year, new channel. So sit back, relax, grab something to drink, grab your friend, text your friend, send the link to somebody tonight and let them know, hey, we're coming through. And we're going to spend some time talking about what are we going to do in the year 2024. If you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwayne Wood. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your life, take charge of your health, avoid complications, and go to the next level, creating the life you've always wanted. I am so excited that you're here. Strap in, because we're coming down your road. Hey, so glad that you're here. If you're out there right now, we love that you are with us, that you're hanging out, that you are here to help us essentially celebrate this year. This has been an amazing year. It has been a year of growth, a year of learning, and a year of excitement, okay, for me. And for you, I hope you have felt the excitement that we've had as we've gone through the course of this year. So let's see. If you're there, go ahead. Like I said, put in the chat. We want to make sure that we acknowledge you. If you're new to me, go ahead and put new in the comments because I want to give you a hand clap and give you some music. And say to you, welcome to this area, right? We want to say, hey, we are glad that you're here. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat because we want to get to those questions as well. And as we're going through tonight, right, as we're going through the show, don't forget, we're not taking a break. So if you've got questions, you can ask me anything. In fact, you can go throughout the entire year, whatever topics we've talked about, this is the place for that. And even as we get into the new year, if you've got topics, if you've got questions, go ahead and put those in the chat as well. Okay? So let's hop over. I see a couple of people that are out there. Let's see. Susie Scientist says, hey, Dr. Wood. Hey, Susie, thanks for coming through. Yoo-hoo. Let me give you some music. Let's give you, how about this music right here? I like this one. Take a real close look now. Soon you'll realize. And we've got Jeff. Hey, Jeff, good evening, man. Thank you for coming through. Glad that you are here. And then Florence. Hey, Florence. Florence says, good evening, Dr. Wood. So glad that you guys all took some time to get over here. See, I love that music, so I keep playing it. So, as I'm saying, if you know some folks who are not here yet, go ahead and bring them in, y'all. Send them a message, send them a text. Let them know that we're here and we're talking about what we're going to be doing over the next year. Can you guys believe it? We're at the end, y'all, of 2023. It just seems like just last month or a couple of days ago, we were doing our New Year's program. You guys remember that? You remember that? Where I was on with some of my friends, with Janet and Cheryl, and we celebrated the new year, bringing the new year in. And we said that this year was going to be the year that we got unstuck. This was going to be the year that we got unstuck. We weren't going to do things the way we were doing it before. We were making changes in our lives, right? You guys remember that? So let's back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit and let's talk. Let's talk, right? So today marks the beginning of a new journey. Let me pause right there, y'all. So everybody's saying, well, this is the end of the year. And I agree. It's the end of the year. It's the end of 2023. But you know that 2024 doesn't start on January 1 of 2024 in our minds. Not for the things we want to do. Not for the places we want to go. Not for the changes that we want to make. 2024 has already begun. Because in our minds, we are making those moves. We are making those changes. If you've seen, let me pop over here and let me do it on this one. If you've seen some of our shorts, right, some of our videos. Let me get over to here, right? If you've seen some of our videos, right, at the end of our videos, let me go ahead and play this one. At the end of our videos, we've been talking about 2024. We haven't called it 2024, but we've been talking about 2024. We've been talking about exercising. We've been talking about doing the things that we need to do to make our lives better. We've been talking about the new you that's coming in 2024, right? So new year, new you. New year, new me. New year, new channel. And that's what we've been doing, right? Let me pop back over here. You guys have seen, right? We started. We're educating. We're empowering, and we're encouraging you to take charge of your health, take charge of your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. So we're not slouching. We're not slacking. We are moving forward in what we are going to be doing for the new year. But looking back a little bit, you will remember that it seems a little while ago, right? A little while ago. Let me get to that right scene. We had, did I put that up? Yeah, there we go. We had 60,000 views. And now, y'all, we are up over 160,000 within a year. Our viewership, our membership, our subscribers has gone from, and I'm going to put this other one up, has gone from just under 1,500, and we are now over 3,000. Actually, we're little over 3,600. You see that right there? That's where we are. And 588 videos. 588 videos we have done over the course of the life of the channel. And our channel is just over 3 years old. Okay, we started out with some very simple, basic, pre-recorded videos. Do I even need to show you guys any of those? Huh? Do I need to show any? Okay. All right, let's go back and let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of those early videos, y'all. Right. So this was I almost, I talked to some of the folks who are content creators, and I almost took some of these down. Right. But I decided, no, I wasn't going to take them down because, right, it shows, right. You see that? I have diabetes. What can I do? How to not get diabetes type 2. Right. This was back when this was in COVID, right, when we started doing these. And so let me pop that one up. Let's see. Look at that. Okay. And can you believe it? Can you believe it? Let me do this. That room that you're looking at right there, that's this space right here. Right? That is this space. Okay? But that's where we were, y'all. That's where we started. Very simply. A little bit of animation. And I know you can't hear what I'm saying on the video because it's muted, but that's okay, right? But I wanted you to get the gist of what that looked like. And so as we have moved from that was about little over 3 years ago, and we've moved into this space, we have covered a wide range of topics. everything from diabetes. We've talked about thyroid disease. And the most recent series that I'm so very proud of is this series entitled The War for Your Health. And that's what we've been doing. And you guys hear that beeping that's going on there? That's my Dexcom that just got disconnected. And so it's complaining. So we'll talk about that also here in just a minute. Let me pop back over here. But the war for your health, right? So I'm excited about that series, The War for Your Health. And in that war for your health, here it is. In the war for your health, which is this guy right here, we have covered a range of topics, talking about diet and nutrition, right? Talking about diet and nutrition and those things that we need to do to make sure, right? So we did some practical tips, practical guidance, things that we need to do to make sure that we are in the space that we need to be to have a healthy body, healthy mind. We talked about lifestyle as and I'm showing you on this one. I hope you can see that. My iPad right now is misbehaving. But we talked about lifestyle as the medicine for our bodies. We talked about diets, right? We went through and we gave a list of diets, and we walked through the benefits of diet. We walked through the benefits of intermittent fasting and the vegan diet and the vegetarian diet, right? One of the series that we did earlier was the laws of health, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that as we get into the new year. But what I want to say to you, now is the new year is here. Recently in my office, I started giving some challenges to some of my patients. And I want you to hear me clearly. If you're sitting out there, if you fit into any of these categories, right? I want you to pay attention. If you're sitting out there and you have a chronic disease, that's diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, if you're suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, if you're suffering from osteoarthritis, if you have some connective tissue disease, if you have kidney disease, if you've had a stroke, if you've had a heart attack, you have heart disease, you have congestive heart failure, if you are in the community of someone who suffers from a chronic disease, if you are caretaker of someone who suffers from a chronic disease, if you are someone who's looking at your health and you haven't yet developed the complications of a chronic disease, but you know you're heading in that direction, right? Every time you go to the doctor, they talk about the fact that your cholesterol levels are rising, or your A1C is getting a little higher, or your weight continues to go up. This year that we're coming, the new year, new you, this is for you. Because what we're doing is we're saying, how do we lessen the burden of our chronic disease? And how do we prevent the progression of existing chronic diseases? And how do we decrease our chances of progressing into a chronic disease? I want you to hear that progression, right? So how do we lessen the burden? That is, when we say burden, I'm talking about medication. We're talking about hospital visits, hospital admissions, talking about doctor visits, talking about caretakers, the money that we spend. How do we lessen that burden? How do we decrease complications, the chances of getting complications? By controlling blood sugars, by helping to decrease blood pressure, even if we're on medications. If you've got osteoarthritis, what can you do? Everybody says, hey, this knee is bad, and they tell me I've got to have surgery for this knee, or my back is bad, or I've got a pinched nerve. question is why? What made you develop osteoarthritis? Yeah. And then how do we, if we have not yet had those complications, if we've not progressed to those diseases, how do we minimize our chances of progressing to them? So new year, new you, new year, new us, new year, new me. When we talk about that, you know what that means? Let me go back to my story. Recently, I've started talking to some of my patients, and I've said to them, I'm giving you a challenge. I'm giving you a challenge. And the challenge is this. Over the next year, I want you to make a commitment to decrease the amount of medications you're on, and for some that I've challenged, to be off of medication. I know everybody's out there that's saying that's not possible. That's not going to happen. It is impossible for me to get off of my insulin. It's impossible for me to stop taking my blood pressure medicine. It's impossible for me not to need the surgery for that knee that they're telling me about. You know what? There's nothing that's impossible. It's not impossible, y'all. Now, let me hasten to say this. There are some people who are going to need to be on some medication. Yeah. Depending on the progression, depending on the severity, depending on the length. But for most people, for these chronic diseases that we're talking about, for most people, the chances of improving their disease is there. It's high. I'm throwing myself in the pot. I'm here with you. All right? So as we go through the next year, new year, new you, new year, new me. New year, new channel. So here's what I told a person, just one of my patients yesterday. Actually, I'm not going to tell that story yet. I'll come back to that one. But just a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a young lady, and I said to her, the amount of medications that you're on is small. And let me say that to some of you. Right now, you take glipizide, you take maybe some metformin, you take Januvia, Jardiance, right? You take a pill, one pill. You may take 2 pills, or maybe even 3 pills. The question is, why are your blood sugars still uncontrolled? When we look at all the people for years and years and years and years now that we've been managing for diabetes, the number is about 30 to 32% of people never get control. They never get to goal. They never get to the place where we want them to be so that we can decrease complications. We know, and we've talked here on this channel, we know that over the course of time, if we can decrease the A1C, that is, get better blood sugar control, we know that we can decrease the chances of heart attack. Well, let me go through the triopathy first, of retinopathy, of nephropathy, and neuropathy. We know that. But yet 30 to 32% of people never reach their goal. With all the medications that we have, with all the technology that we have, we never achieve that goal. And the number of people that are becoming diabetic continues to increase. 432 to 460 million people around the world, and 37 million people in the United States alone with diabetes. So what's the thing? What's the issue? Are you meaning to tell me that with all the knowledge that we have, with all the people that are out there, we're sending satellites, y'all. We're sending ships out of the solar system. We're shooting stuff into out into space. We got cars pretty soon that are going to be driving themselves. Right? I had a friend who come visit us, and we're sitting and we're talking, and we're going through, and they were here for a little bit, and then she says, "Hey, we got to go check on the dog." I said, "The dog? Where's the dog? The dog's in the car." I said, "What? The dog? You left the dog in the car?" But y'all, you guess what? The car has a dog feature. Yeah. Where the car keeps the dog at a certain temperature. And it has a little basket in the car, right? In case the dog has to go potty. And it has a little thing where it gives the dog food. So we can take care of dogs and animals, but we can't take care of our health? No, I don't believe it. So as we get into this new year, my challenge is this, y'all. What are we going to do? What are you going to do? What commitment are we making to ourselves that we may not be able to totally get off of medication, but for sure, we can decrease some of it? If you're on blood pressure medicines, why are you still on it? Why are you on as much? Why every time you go to the doctor, why do they keep adding more blood pressure medication? If your cholesterol is high. Now, let me hasten to say, there are some conditions that require blood pressure medication. I'm thinking of one right now, pheochromocytoma. It's a big word. All right? That's one of those endocrine emergencies. And if you have a pheochromocytoma, then you will need specialized treatment. If you have Cushing's disease, you will need specialized treatment. And I'm calling things now that are within the endocrine space, right? Because I'm an endocrinologist. Right? So you will need specialized medication. The question though is, does everybody need it? Does everybody have a pheochromocytoma? Does everybody have Cushing's disease? No. Then why do we have so many people that are on blood pressure medicines? Why do we have so many people that are on cholesterol medicines? It's because, you ready? You ready for it? It's because we are not doing the right things. We are not teaching the right things. We're not having the right conversations. For years and years and years now, my goal for patients has been to get their blood sugars under control. And now let me go back to my diabetics. That's been our goal. And so then now the question is, now we've got the blood sugar under control. We've got the A1C down. What now? Is it now we got there and that's it? Or are there some other things we need to start looking at? Why are you now on 200, 300, 400, 500 units of insulin? If you have high blood pressure, we've been able to keep your blood pressure under control. Right? We've gotten the medications and now we've gotten you out of danger. Why are you still on 5 blood pressure medicines? You've had a heart attack. You've had a stroke. Did that not change our thought process? Mama passed away. Daddy passed away. Brother, sister, cousin had complications from their chronic illnesses. What do we do? And so the thrust for 2024, y'all. New year, new you, new year, new me, new year, new world. So 2023 was the place we said that we're not getting stuck. We're not staying stuck. Right? We were going to move. We're going to work on how do we move from the place where we were. And that's why we did all of those videos, all of those episodes. For example, and let me get back over there. For example, we did a series of shows on getting unstuck. You guys remember that? All right. If you're out there, yeah. Let's see. Where's that playlist? Okay. Let me put this up. Right. So the art of letting go. Right. So the art of letting go. You remember my story? You remember my story? The art of letting go came about as a result of me going whitewater rafting. And when I went whitewater rafting, I fell off the raft. I fell out and I was under the raft, y'all. And while I was there, I couldn't breathe. And, you know, I was floating. This raft was kind of going around and around. And I would not let go. And it was not until I couldn't take another breath because the raft was on top of me that I had to let go. And many of us are out there right now, and we're in situations. We have some baggage, some memory. We have some trauma. We have some family issues. We have some relational issues. We have some job issues. We have some health issues. And we're stuck in that spot. And so the art of letting go was an attempt, right, using that whitewater rafting example, that experience, to say, hey, no, we got to learn how to let go. So we talked about, unleashing your potential, right? The power of forgiveness, letting go, mindset makeover, letting go. What's true and what's not true about letting go, right? A deeper look, breaking free, letting go of fear, how to let go of the past. So this year we're talking about, okay, how do we get unstuck? How do we get unstuck, right? So one of the ways that we did that, when we talked about that series, the art of letting go. And then we talked about the power of a positive mindset, the power of a positive mindset. With the things that we are trying to do, the places that we want to go in 2024, you have to have a positive mindset. And in particular, I want to talk a little bit about the growth mindset. The growth mindset. The growth mindset says that what I have right now is not all I'm allocated. It says that I can be better than I am right now. My health, the health I have right now, is not all that's there. I can improve it. I can get better. I can do things to put me in a better place. The power of a positive mindset. So all the things that we've done over the course of this year, 2023, was to set us up, right? To begin expanding our minds, to help us realize that we can reach higher heights. We can get to better places, right? Educating, empowering, and encouraging, right? That's where those words come from. We educate to give information. We empower by giving tools. And we encourage with community. And that's what you are. Community. So glad that you're here. All right, let's see. Who's here we go. 4565 Sunshine. She said, hi, Dr. Wooden from St. Martin. What? St. Martin? Let me give you my favorite song. Take a real close look now. Soon you'll realize. All right. And then Susie Scientist is giving a hand clap. Thank you. I'm hoping that is for what we've been talking about. Yes, says Susie. Thank you. And then let's see. Jeff says, as a type 2, I'm trying to wean myself off of 5 milligrams of rosuvastatin and gabapentin. I'm not giving up my prescription for my Freestyle Libre and it keeps me accountable. Yeah. So Jeff, I love that. Okay. So, and we'll delve more into this. We'll delve more into this. All the medications that we have, and I want you to hear me carefully. All the medications and all the devices that we have for the management of our chronic diseases, chronic illnesses, all of them are tools. Tools. Like right now, if you go out to my garage, I've got several boxes. Yeah, my wife probably says I spend too much money on tools. Yeah, you guys want to hear a funny story? So my wife has this piano, right, that she had since she was a child. Somebody bought it for her. And so over the course of years, she grew up, she went to college, and the piano was at her mom's. And so when we moved, we went and we got the piano. So we brought it to our house, right? Because I'm excited, piano. Well, the bench for the piano bench was kind of messed up. And so I decided that I was going to fix this piano bench. So I went out, y'all, and it started out very simply. It started out with me just going, and it's those legs were sculpted, right? And so I went and I said, well, I'm going to keep the legs from the original, but I was going to make the bench, the top, right, where the cover goes on. I was going to take the cover because it was made out of some, the piano bench material that it's made out of. So I was going to keep that. I was going to keep the legs, but I was going to remake the seat itself. And so I went out and I bought some wood and got all the little brackets that I needed. And I came home and I'm looking at it, and one of the legs, I guess years ago, someone had actually fixed it and they split one of the legs. So I couldn't use that one anymore. And so I said, well, I don't want to put a leg that doesn't look like the others, right? So I was going to keep the top now. I'm going to remake the bench, and I'm going to re-mill some legs. And so I went out and I said, well, I don't have the material for that. So I've got the wood, but now I needed some tools. Before I was done, y'all, I had bought saws, electrical saws, a chop saw. I bought sanders. So my car couldn't fit in. As a matter of fact, my car is still outside the garage. So it became this huge project. But if you go out to my garage right now, I've got tools in toolboxes. I've got chisels. I've got saws. I've got mallets. I've got ball peen hammers. I've got all kinds of things out there. I can't tell you, though, the last time that I used a chisel. Like right now, my life doesn't really call for me to use a chisel. But you know what? If I needed a chisel, if I needed a ball peen hammer, I can walk out there and I can get it and I can use it. And when I'm done with it, I put it back. I want you to get that analogy. Oftentimes, we think that medication is permanent. It's like we always have to have a hammer in our hand. Wherever we go, we got that hammer. And I want to convince you, and we'll get more into this later. I want to convince you that all the medications that we have, they're tools. Now, there are some tools, there are some things, some medications that we need. And let me jump in here and let me add a particular indication. So patients who are type 1, their tool, the insulin that they have to have it all the time. We've not yet figured out how to treat type 1 diabetes without insulin. So they have to have it. So that's an instance where the tool is always there. But in a lot of cases, the things that we do, the diseases that we have, the medications that we use, these are medications that we can begin backing off of. Always, I've got to always say this, with the direction and in compliance with your healthcare provider. So as we go through the next year, right, you're going to be hearing things from me. I'm going to be giving some suggestions. I was almost said recommendations. We're going to be doing some suggestions. We're going to talk about some things that can happen, that should happen, or ways that you can make things happen. But you always have to touch base with your family doctor, with your healthcare provider, with your healthcare team, so that they know what you're doing and that they can guide you. Yes? Okay, so back to Jeff, and thank you, Jeff, for saying that, because this is a good place for me to make a couple other comments. For people who have neuropathy, for people who have osteoarthritis, for people who have back pain, leg pain, right? Often, those things that I just mentioned come from diabetes. They come from nerve damage or joint damage from increased weight. They come from a sedentary lifestyle. They come from, in the case of neuropathy, maybe you've been on a medication that caused it. For instance, some patients who have had chemotherapy, some of the chemotherapy medication causes neuropathy. Right? Notice that progression. So they had chemotherapy for cancer, right? Let's say the word. And so now they have developed neuropathy as a result of the medication. And while we can't totally reverse some neuropathy, we can certainly improve some neuropathy. Do you know that a lot of people who have neuropathy, if they exercised, the neuropathy gets better? Yeah. There are things that we can do. I've got, let's see. Yeah, hold on a second. And I'm not promoting the brand, but that's okay. So I've got this little thing right here, right? You know what this is? This is a foot massager. So for years, I had some neuropathy. And I still have some residual. But just the other day, my wife said to me, she said, "Hey, how is your pain?" And y'all, it's better. Because I do some massage and I go walking, right? So I was going to talk. Well, let me talk about it. So for neuropathy, if you have neuropathy, you know that right under the toes, right at the front of the foot, right behind the toes, sometimes it feels like you have socks on, or like crumpled tissue paper is there. And if you're not careful, because of sometimes the pain, the tenderness, the numbness, we don't move those toes, and the neuropathy gets worse. So as you exercise, as you walk, guess what's happening, right? Those toes are getting stretched. They're getting flexed. And that improves that feeling that you have right behind the toes. Simple thing. But if you don't know that, you think that, well, medication has to be what I do. Yes? Okay. All right. So new year, new me. New year, new you, y'all. So as we've gone through this year, we have looked at how do we change our mind? How do we deal with the past? So change our mind. That was the power of a positive mindset. How do we deal with the past? That is the art of letting go. How do we improve ourselves? That was the series that we did that was entitled Redesigning Yourself. How do we look at our environment? And how do we fight against the norms? How do we fight against the things in our society, in our lives that are forcing us into bad health? That is the war for your health. And now looking forward into 2024, y'all. New year, new you. That's our theme. New year, new you. What's the plan? The plan is that we do a lot more practical discussions. So what are the things that you are dealing with in your daily lives? Now, I've started sharing with you, if you've watched some of our shorts, I've started sharing with you some of the things that have been going on in my life. When I was diagnosed with diabetes, even as I was entering medical school, that's how long ago I was diagnosed. I did not accept it. I went through medical school. I was ashamed. I've shown you some pictures of me as I, over the course of time, the stress, the rigor of medical school, and other things that were going on in my life. That cortisol that was high, that caused me to turn to food as comfort. Right? The emotional eating. We're going to delve into all of that. We're going to give some strategies. How do you come up with a plan to manage your diabetes? How do you come up with a plan to incorporate management of diabetes into your life? Right, we're going to have some challenges. We're going to educate, conveying information. We're going to empower by giving tools. And we're going to encourage by this community. And so I want you, if you're here, if you're watching this on the replay, if you know somebody who needs to be here, I want you to keep alert because we're coming back. Our very first show, so the first week of January is the first day, actually, is New Year's Day. So we're not going to be here on New Year's Day, but our very first show for the new year in this space is going to be the 8th. All right, so I want you to keep an eye out for that, and you'll see the new things that we're going to do. Right? More of the shorts that you've been seeing on social media. More practical guidance. I've thrown out the challenge to some of you who are out there to say, hey, come on the show and let's do some coaching for you so that other people can begin seeing how this is done. Share your successes with us. Right? This year is about transformation. A journey to revolutionize your health by mastering blood sugar and by embracing a holistic approach to your health. One of the thrusts of the show, one of the thrusts of the year is to decrease the burden of medication. One of the thrusts of the show, one of the goals is how can you in your life take better control, take more ownership of what's going on? How can you have conversations with your healthcare team? And how can you position yourself to be informed so that you can take charge of the things that happen to you? Each quarter, we're going to dive deep into a theme, right? That's fundamental to our awareness. That's proactive, that's educational, that has insights and is reflective. And it needs your participation. Join us for our weekly shows, for in-depth discussions, practical advice, and as we tell stories about what's been going on. Every year, the American Diabetic Association puts out its new guidelines. We'll talk about some of those. We want to build an interactive community as we get into this year. We want to talk about some of the challenges, some of the things that we want to do as a group, right? When you do things together, you do things better. We want to share our victories. We want to share that in this vibrant community that we're building. You're not just a viewer. You're an active participant in this transformative process. Your insights, your experiences, your feedback will shape our journey together. Join us. Join us starting January 8th of 2024 with purpose and passion. Let's embark on this transformative journey together and make the year a year to remember. New year, new you. New year, new me. New year, new world. Here we educate, we empower, and we encourage you to take charge of your health, your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level, y'all. We're creating the life we've always wanted. That's the plan for 2024. It's transformative. Join me, Dr. Dwayne Wood, y'all, as we embark on this journey, this year-long journey, in our new theme, New Year, New You. That's what we're doing. I thank you for what you've done over the course of this past year. I thank you for your engagement in the channel. I thank you for your engagement on our social media. I thank you for those of you who are here because you read something or somebody said something to you, somebody pointed you in this direction. Right? Thank you for all of that. In fact, let's see. I do want to do a couple of shout outs. So to a I was going to show that, but I guess I won't. Yeah, a couple of shout outs that I do want to make. In this space, it's always amazing to me the generosity and the just kindness of people that I meet in the course of being here and doing what I do. There are people who reach out to me to tell me their stories, and some of them are heart-wrenching. There's some people who reach out and they say, hey, I have this issue that's going on, and we communicate back and forth and we talk about what may be going on, and we give some recommendations. Say, hey, talk to your doctor about this or talk to your doctor about that. But every now and then, I run across someone who just seems to gravitate and grab onto our content and is just likes it. Let me start there, and begins to share it. And that is the case with Dr. Kennedy, Suzanne Kennedy. We connected together on LinkedIn, and so I just wanted to give a shout out. She wrote a very interesting story in her life, and then encourage people to come to our channel to learn about how to take care of their health. And I hope I'll share that story with her permission. I'll share a little bit of that story, and I will, you'll hear more about other people that have been in my space, in our community, that reach out and share things with us. Okay? So I want to encourage you, number one, be here for New Year, New You. Take this as your challenge, that you will join the community, that you will Be with us as we progress through this year. I want you to make this year make a commitment for this year that at the end of 2024, your health is going to be better. Make a commitment that you're going to try as much as possible to decrease your medication burden. And we'll give these again, right? But I want to prep you. I want you to make a commitment that you're going to incorporate a holistic view of your health. Y'all, the two most important things that we have are our time and our health. We've got to manage our time. We've got to optimize our time. We've got to use our time wisely. And we have got to manage our health. Either of those, if they are not where they need to be, puts our entire happiness, puts our entire future, puts our entire success in jeopardy. Time and health. New year, new you. New year, new me. New year, new world. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here. I want to encourage you to get over to our YouTube channel. If you've not already done so, go ahead and get over there and be in our community. Sign up and make sure that you are letting other people know what we're doing here on the channel. Get over to our website. Lots of things that we've got going on over there. We've got our blog that we write on a weekly basis. We've got our podcast. You can sign up for our course, and you will be seeing more courses on the website. Right now, we have the one that says Unmasking the Sweet Truth About Sugar. Right? That's a perfect one to begin the journey for the new year. And be there. We'll have more resources out there for you as we get into the space. So, hey guys, look at this. Look who's here. Susie Scientist. This is Dr. Kennedy that I was talking about. She said, that's me. Susie Scientist. She said, I can share it. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Once again, it's always a pleasure to meet people and to hear their stories. And, I'm going to share some more here, Miss Susie. So she gave me some very good tips, right? So the community that I interact with, we often talk about the bad things that are in our world. And there are some pretty bad things that are around. As we today in our huddle, we do a huddle in the office before we start the day. And I tell them sometimes I feel like I just want to take the world like it's a marble and just polish it. Just right. So there are a lot of things that are out there that we can talk about that are negative, but the positive mindset that we have, the ability that we have to see the benefit, the joy around us, the ability that we have to see to connect, or the ability we have to connect to people like Suzanne that I connected with, and to just share the commonalities. Can we just do that? So part of New Year, New You, part of the reason that we're trying to be successful is community. We're built, y'all, for community. And in the space, we're making a community, we're building a community where people can come and people can ask questions. Because there are questions that we have that sometimes we don't want to ask because we think we're the only one who has that question. But no, it's not just you. No, I can't. If I ask, they're going to know I don't know. Well, so what? You don't know. I don't know. You guys hear me all the time and say, I don't know that. I'll go try to find it out. But that's the beauty of community. All right. So Lisa, 4565 Sunshine. She thanks for all the information. Glad that you're here. 456 from St. Martin. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it, y'all. So this is our final show for 2023. This is our final episode of this show. We do have 2 more episodes of our Q4 winning moves, which is going to be tomorrow night and Wednesday night. And those will be the final 2 episodes here. You will see more content through the end of the year, right? It won't be live, but you'll see things coming out. So make sure that you connect with our social media pages and our social media accounts. And as I say that, let me pop back over here and put this down. So if you get over there on all of our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, even Twitch, we have an account out there. Say hello, drop me a line. Let me know that you're there. If you're watching this on the replay, put replay, hashtag replay, and let me know that you are out there. And as we get into the new year, right, I want you to come prepared because we're hitting the ground running. That's why we've been doing the Q4 winning moves, because we're not waiting until the end of the year to get started. We're starting even now. Okay? So I want you to make that commitment. We're not making New Year's resolutions. That's not what this is. Okay? We're not making New Year's resolutions. We are working together. We're moving together into the new year to get better. So by the end of 2024, y'all, that's our goal. That's our line. The end of 2024, this entire year, we are setting ourselves up for success as we move into the new year, as we get better in our lives, as we get better in our health. Yo, this is Dr. Dwayne Wood. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health, take charge of your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level and create the life you've always wanted. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow night or Wednesday night on Q4 Winning Moves. And if not, have an amazing Christmas holiday. Have an amazing holiday season. Have an amazing new year. And we'll see you for New Year, New You. Good night, everybody.